A woman sits hunched over by the side of the road. Upon catching sight of you, she calls out for your aid. She's sprained her ankle and needs you to take her to the nearby apothecary. You try to lift the woman into your arms, but the weight's too much for you to bear. You lay the woman back down where you found her and mutter a quiet farewell before turning to leave. Upon seeing that, Melanie snaps. What kind of person are you? Ain't like it's my fault she's hurt, you whine like a child. Ignoring you, Melanie gingerly helps the woman up. Mar bends so the woman can get on his back, and the two of them head off in search of the apothecary. You watch them walk away for a moment before following, complaining to yourself about what a waste of time this is. You arrive at the apothecary. After taking a curative, the woman begins hopping up and down. Nothing holds a candle to Ivory Order medicine, she beams. She thanks you and pulls something from her breast pocket. The man scours his skin with a washcloth, trying to rid himself of all odor. Apparently, he blames his natural musk for his unlucky love life. You catch a whiff of scent wafting off him. It is rather pungent. An idea strikes you. Maybe getting rid of the toxins within the body would get rid of the odor without, too. You fish around in your bag, but can't seem to find an antidote anywhere. You hand him an antidote and he chugs it down. As soon as he's finished, the odor completely disappears. Overjoyed, the man resolves to tell the person he likes how he feels. From his breast pocket, the man pulls out something to give you in thanks. You take note of a woman who appears quite ill. As it turns out, she is none other than Ridus's mother. She is in no small amount of pain. Will you give her something to ease her suffering? The item you've proffered has no effect on her illness. But I appreciate the thought all the same, she said. Ridis's mother hands you mysterious card 3 as a token of her gratitude. She begins speaking of Ridis, who has been preparing the medicine that helps her get through the day. She blames her illness, and therefore herself, for making Ridis's life so difficult. The more she talks, the more her face drops. You follow the curious sounds to their source, our resident well water lover, digging at the dry well with his bare hands. He digs and digs, but no water is forthcoming. What's worse, he has injured his hand in the process. Melanie beseeches you to help the poor man. But well digging was forbidden by our ancestors long ago. You've heard the legends, you protest. How is that the best lie you can come up with? She snaps back, appalled. The man turns towards you both, oblivious to the squabble playing out before him. Do you have any salve that might ease my pain? He asks. You hand the man some salve. The instant he applies it to his hands, he resumes his furious digging, this time punctuated with shouts of "I feel incredible." Not long after that, water erupts from the ground with a force unlike any you've seen. He sidles up to the jet of water and begins drinking from it as one would from a fountain. He is once again in his element. The man hands you mysterious card 4 to show his appreciation for the salve. The little goblin sulks as he gazes upon the withering flowers he tried so desperately to take care of. He looks at you with tears in his eyes, silently begging you for help. They must be thirsty, you think to yourself, then douse the flowers in water until... Stop, stop, the goblin shrieks angrily. You're drowning them. If it were that easy, the goblin says, he would have done it himself. You pour the salve onto the flowers, and they stand up tall. The goblin cries out in happiness and thanks you for your help. He then holds something out to you. The goblin stares lovingly at the beautiful flowers and gobbles them up. Healthy flowers are the tastiest, he proclaims in glee. Did he grow those flowers just to eat them? A troubled woman tells you that there has been a rise in thefts lately. She speculates the recession to be the cause. She claims that even the cold medicine she always has on hand has disappeared. She narrows her eyes at the crowd, suspecting there is a thief among them, and offers a reward for the return of the medicine. Your ears perk up at the word reward, and you immediately agree to help expose the dirty thief. You approach a woman sneaking around in a corner of town. Hearing your voice, she turns in surprise. You see a vial of cold medicine clutched in her hands. You explain that the person she stole it from needs it back. The woman begins to explain her own situation with downcast eyes. "My poor little boy is bedridden," she says tearfully. "He needs medicine, but I don't have any money, so I took it." Hearing her tale, you are overcome by sympathy and decide to look the other way. She thanks you and hands you something, apologizing for not having more. Medicine in hand, the woman leaves quickly. Now then, what to tell the other lady? You explain that you are unable to find the thief. Clearly saddened by the news, she explains that she keeps the medicine on hand for her husband, who gets sick quite easily. She laments that she may not have the money to buy more. Unsure if you made the right choice, you return to your journey with a heavy heart. Saving one forsakes the other. What a cruel world this is. You turn the magical key in the lock, and the door opens. You sense a presence behind you, and turn to see a guard. He starts talking to you like your old friends. He tells you this is where Queen Nilla used to store the royal treasure, but not anymore. So you see, you won't find anything of value in there, he finishes, and walks away. There's a scrap of paper on the ground where the guard was standing. You pick it up and read it. A man approaches you as you wander through the village. "Spare a bit of medicine?" he asks genially. He sets about convincing you that your kindness will be returned tenfold if you just give him a little from your pack. His silver tongue would put even the best salesman to shame. You reach for a bottle of medicine, completely taken in by his pitch. Bruno stills your hand. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." "Why do you want it so badly?" you ask, affording him another opening. He gladly takes it. He first came in contact with it as a child.
His parents paid him no mind.
And never since forgot its wonderful taste. You are fully invested in this story and desperate to give the man some small comfort in this cruel, cruel world. You're primed and ready to hand it over. I've heard better sob stories, Melanie says dryly, having somehow absorbed the man's story, despite the blistering speed in which he delivered it. Bruno thinks you'd better not, but you're not so sure. You heed Bruno's warning and return the medicine to your pack. The man's shoulders droop, and he shuffles off out of sight. He appears to have dropped something peculiar in his haste. Another secret passage. How many of these things are there? Figures there'd be a secret passage here too. Go on and see where it leads. The world, cut off from its supply of medicine with the dragon's death. Your twin, for whom you have searched high and low for some way of restoring her human form. And Melanie, transformed into a monster and lying prone before your very eyes. You must decide for which purpose to put the all-powerful dragon tear. Oh, think long and hard about this one. As though you were trying to cling to something, you offer up every supplication to the dragon tear. And then... the dragon tear's light overwhelms you. You feel your consciousness start to slip away. Where's that voice coming from? Wake up, screams Ridis, shaking you ungently. Your eyes peel open, and you glance around. You're alive, says Melanie through flowing tears. You let go of a heavy sigh of relief to see she's human again. Bruno says you collapsed after the dragon tears started shining with fierce light, and that you've been unconscious ever since. That's when you realize Mar is nowhere to be seen. You wrap Mar, returned to human, in your firm embrace. Thus your journey drew to its conclusion. As for the story afterward, you return to Advent Castle and make your report of the events to Queen Nilla. She rewards you handsomely for telling her the truth about the dragon, but it's barely enough to cover the cost of repairs to Ridus's home. Bruno returns to the coastal village he calls home, still squabbling with Oreo. The dragon agrees to continue providing dragon tear for the kingdom, so long as he can live the rest of his life in peace and quiet. Queen Nilla denounces the Ivory Order for their cruelty and seizes control of medicinal production. She does all she can to ensure a more ethical manufacturing process. Winifred, Hedwyn, and Berwyn leave the Ivory Order, establishing a new organization to help the needy. And what of you, Mar and Melanie? Queen Nilla asks you to serve in her court, but that's not really something the three of you are cut out for. You decline to set off for new adventures. And to this day, the incessant bickering of the bounty-hunting twins and the Black Witch can be heard in various far-flung corners the world over. This is a story of long, long ago and long, long from now.